Welcome once again to The Upgrade. And this week, you are listening to part 2 of our interview with filmmaker Jeff Stewart.
All right. Let's spin this for a few minutes. Just let's spin this for a minute here. Jeff, I've known you for a long time at this point.
Pretty much.
Probably, it was even before I moved here, so I mean, I'm going to say like 15 years at this point.
Yeah, like a good 15, 16 years, yeah.
And we worked together back in 2011 and 12 on a couple movies that you produced. I have been paying attention along the way, but I did not realize that your credits on IMDb were this deep. You got 23 credits out here for different things that you've worked on. And, you know, to see you grow from The Reunion and The Velvet Elvis, which I'm going to say was the best movie of 2012, bar none.
We'll talk about The Velvet Elvis after this, but, like, I still love that fucking movie so much.
So, you know, as I dug through, you're producer, you're executive producer, so you got your hands on things. You're not doing any of the acting, but you're doing some of the filming here and there, post-production work, etc. What are your 2 favorite things that you worked on that were not The Velvet Elvis or The Reunion?
Oh, shit. All right, my 2 favorite things. All right, my first favorite thing is Paranormal Adventure Hunter Supreme.
That shit was funny.
So, for those of you who want to look it up, it's still available on YouTube. Paranormal Adventure Hunter Supreme is a redneck Ghostbusters. So, imagine, like, it's a parody of all those paranormal shows where they go investigate, blah, 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 the haunted house. But it's a bunch of rednecks. So they just think regular shit is haunted. And it's all ad-lib. It's all me and my friends just, like, getting drunk and coming up with ideas. It's like, all right, now we got this bear costume, and you're going to run around the woods, pretend like you're going to fuck furries. Like you're about a outside furry orgy. It was my buddy, my producing partner, one of my best friends, Chris Kazar's idea, because he loves those paranormal adventures, right? Those paranormal shows, and he's like, yeah, they're all fucking stupid. Like every one of them is an idiot. So let's parry it. And so we had some fun with that. And I still go back, like, I think it's like 8 years later, and I know exactly what's going to happen, and I still laugh at that.
So
like I was on set.
If you're laughing at your own work and it's still funny, it's probably funny.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise you would just be like, yeah, this is fucking dumb. Why did I do it?
Oh, yeah. It was like we had fucking Ghost Bukkake. We exorcised the demon using a picture of J-Lo's ass.
I mean, that could exercise my demons all day. Even at 51 or 52, it's what she is right now, all the demons could be exercised.
And one of my favorite episodes is the very special erectile dysfunction episode where the dude thought his dick was haunted. That's why he couldn't get hard.
Oh my god!
So check out Paranormal Adventure Hunter Supreme. That's one of my favorite things that I've worked on. That wasn't the Velvet Elvis or the Reunion, and the second favorite thing would be my King of Nowhere project,
which is you're working on that right now, right?
Right. We're trying to get money for it. We've been trying to get money for it for like the last 6 years because we want to do it right. We're indie do or die, but like sometimes you want to have the money to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's it's a crime movie with a ticking clock. So it all takes place within 12 hours, and it's about like this reformed drug dealer who's trying to make this like one last score, and there's double crosses and dirty cops and Russian mobsters and all sorts of stuff that I've been like we've been working on. Me and Chris have been working on for the last 6 years.
So it's about Trenton.
Yeah, it's about we were going to shoot the whole entire thing in Trenton. BET had some interest in it. Paramount had some interest in it. It's just they didn't. These things fall through. We're trying to get that off the ground. But yeah, that's my baby. That's my my Oscar winner.
I don't want you to necessarily give out the information, but do you have actors and actresses already picked out, or is this like you're literally at the beginning point where you haven't even filmed anything and you're just trying to get the funding to do the filming?
We have actors. We've done I've done promo materials. I've done trailers. I've shot scenes. It's all ready to go. I'm just trying to get this money, these dollar bills, y'all.
That's all it comes down to is money, because money make the coochie go whoop whoop.
Yeah, right. Just woo woo. Money.
So, working with you on both the Reunion and the Velvet Elvis was eye-opening as to how little I knew about sound design and how shit works. And I remember trying to export the full audio track of the Velvet Elvis movie from Pro Tools before Pro Tools had a quick bounce feature, which would allow it to just bounce on its own. And I literally sat up all night printing out this file last minute to get it to you so that you could do your premiere that you were going to do.
Yeah.
And I think I'm still tired from that night. I don't think I ever recovered from that night.
Yeah, I was with you that night. That was the Reunion.
Was that the Reunion?
You're like, no, worry.
Okay.
We did a lot of last minute shit.
Yeah, we did so much last minute shit.
Yeah, but the Reunion, I remember staying up to 8:00 in the morning with you.
Yeah.
As we were doing sound design on it, and by the end, I was like, I don't fucking put a duck sound there. I don't give a fuck.
You're like, I'm just done.
Make it sound good.
But because those are your first two major actual credits, and you're the producer, you wrote most of it. What about those movies are super important to you?
It was a learning experience, and I met some of my best friends on those movies. You usually, when you do a movie, you meet the actors, you hire the actors, you hire the crew and stuff like that, and you work together, and then you separate, and maybe you stay together on Facebook and shit like that. But these movies, because I produced it with my best friend, we're gonna stay in touch no matter what. But then I met so many other people that I consider my brothers now and my sisters from these movies. I wouldn't trade that for the world. I've had some just real life adventures with these people.
Well, I mean, not to get into your personal life, but even at your wedding, most of those people were there.
Yeah. They were they're good people. From Velvet Elvis, Samuel, Kevin Ridgway, I'm gonna go drinking with him on Friday night. Because he's as crazy in real life as he is in that movie.
That dude is hilarious, though.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, he's in Paranormal Adventure Hunters, and
I remember
he ad-libbed all of that shit.
But if you know him at all, there's no surprise that he ad-libbed all that shit.
Oh yeah. You look at him,
just a regular conversation with him is ad-lib all that shit.
Yeah. And he's the sweetest guy in the world, but he looks like what someone would imagine a rape looks like. It was draw a rapist for me. It was oh, that's Kevin.
It is Kevin. Great dude, though.
scrawny, tattooed from head to tail, from head to toe. Like, he looks like Jared Leto got playing an AIDS victim or whatever that actually got AIDS as he was playing it to be like real method acting. That's Kevin.
So how do you pick the people that you want to have in your movies? Because like you've had some people in your movies where I'm just like, how the fuck did he even find this person, i.e. Kevin? Like, what happens? Is they come in for the interview or like the test read, and you're just like, nah, I absolutely have to have this guy.
Yeah, like it's just all just like some things I write for people I know, and sometimes it's just God's on your side when you have an audition, and that was Kevin. Like Kevin came in, and he was like he was a pick from one of the producers, Kelsey.
Okay,
she worked with him. And he was nervous, and we were drunk because we weren't taking it all that serious. So we were day drunk. We're all wearing sunglasses and shit like that, drinking out of coffee cups, wine. And he's nervous. So like he drank a fifth of vodka before he came in for the audition,
and it hit as he's doing it.
Like so, he was drunk, but we didn't know it, and we were drunk, and he didn't know it. It was like, you're a good guy, man. I fuck with you. Yeah. It's like, you got it, man. Funny.
You're in.
You're fun.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But yeah, so you just know. Like, if you know your movie, you know your characters and everything like that, on seeing somebody if they're going to be able to deliver what you need them to deliver.
Looking at the Velvet Elvis, I can't imagine any other two people playing the front two roles other than Kirk and Kevin.
Oh yeah, no,
like,
no.
I don't think the movie could work without the two of them.
Oh yeah, no. It's totally their character. We're all friends. We all go hang. Before the end of the world, we were all hanging out and shit like that together, just doing stupid shit and hanging out.
Right.
Their chemistry together is amazing.
They're absolutely silly. Muttley, I need to get you a link to watch that movie. Is it still up somewhere?
It's on my private Vimeo, but I'll send you a link.
Okay.
How this movie hasn't become the greatest pothead movie ever. I don't know why. Because it's so dumb. It's so silly. It's Black Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's like the story of the Velvet Elvis is. It's a black Elvis impersonator whose side gig is hunting demons. So it's like
nice.
It's perfect in every way. That
it's
just so ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
Shaft meets Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I know, like if I ever had any kind of real money, I'm talking like Netflix money, that would be I'm making this series.
So yeah, that was going to be my next question. When am I going to get a second installment of Velvet Elvis? Because I need it.
You would have to talk to Jeff Bezos about that. Because
he hasn't been taking my calls?
He's been on his island. He's been on his volcanic island.
He's been a little bit busy planning this pandemic.
I call him every day, and it keeps going to voicemail. Like, I just can't get through. So
he's busy putting chips in vaccines.
Putting chips in vaccines.
Him and Bill Gates, both of them, just like hand by hand.
Big project. You need both of them.
Yeah, but Amazon technically owns the rights to it. I haven't checked. I don't know if but they make you sign this dumb contract. Like every production you're ever on, you'll know this. If you going forward, anyone who's in the film industry, who's listening or wants to get in the film industry, anytime you sign a contract, it's always going to say in perpetuity throughout the universe.
Right. Until released.
No, which is the fucking scariest thing to see written down. So that means, like, Amazon, I could, like, have intergalactic travel. I could travel to Venus, and I can't make a sequel to Velvet Elvis because it's throughout the known and unknown universe.
Until they sign off on it.
Until they sign off on it. And, I don't know. They're buying content now. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see what we can do. Maybe I should reach out to those producers.
So, what do you shoot with? Like, I know my friend Kurt from Sirius Cinema has been buying, like, the red cameras and the, like, super high-endy things to shoot for Netflix, for anything. Are you shooting with those high-end cameras at this point?
No, I'm shooting with Blackmagic cameras now, which is a small Australian company, which is not small anymore, but they have really changed the game when it comes to affordable indie equipment that stacks up to like your Aries or your Reds. I will say this, like I will go to toe to anyone that says that my $2,500 Blackmagic Cinema camera, the audience will not be able to tell that difference between that and the $30,000 Ari Alexa.
Okay.
Wow.
But I've done projects with Aries and Reds and stuff like that. It's just like any tool. If you don't know how to use it, the quality of your product is going to be shit. So you can shoot on a $20,000 camera, but if you don't know how to light and you don't know how camera movement works and you don't know all that other stuff, then your movie's going to look like shit.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Just like, with music. Like, you can have all the money in the world to buy all the studio equipment and all the best guitars and all, like, everything. But if you don't know how to play,
you're asked out. You asked out, son.
It sounds like shit. Yeah.
Well, I mean, even if you're just talking about recording studio from that standpoint, if you put me in front of an SSL mixing board, let's call it, a 48-channel mixing board, I'll struggle because I haven't been doing that work in that method. So I won't know how it works, and my quality will not be the quality that I could get doing what I do with my current hybrid system that doesn't require such detail on a physical tool.
Right. So, like, I tell everyone this because there are a lot of kids getting to, like, I'm a mentor now.
You're a mentor now?
Like, well, I'm just like people, like, I'm an old head. People come up to me like, oh, what camera should I buy? It's like, what can you afford and what do you know how to use?
Right.
Because, you can spend 15, 20, there are cameras out there. The Phantom camera costs like $100,000. You can buy these cameras, but if you don't know how to use them, you just spent a whole bunch of money on nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just look at it and I go, I see my friends spending all this money and their work looks good.
Right.
But I'm like, can you get more for less? Because, like, that's the whole crux of Landmine Studios is get more for less.
Right.
Even when I'm buying these high-end amps, I'm buying them off somebody who's selling it because they're got a drug problem or somebody, passed away and they got to get rid of the amp to pay for the funeral or whatever. I'm finding deals because deals are way more important to me than looking cool for having something that I spent $5,000 on when I could have spent $1,000.
Yeah, you're not trying to have it fresh, brand new out of the box.
I don't care as long as the motherfucker works.
Right.
Then we're good.
Yeah.
So,
and like especially with Netflix, Netflix has a list of cameras that is approved for your project to be shot on.
Mm-hmm.
In order for them to put it on Netflix. One of those cameras is a Panasonic camera that costs about $3,000,
which is reasonable price.
Reasonable price. So you can literally shoot a Netflix project for an entry cost of $3,000.
Right.
So you could spend more money, or you could. But if your work is good enough, if you're skilled enough, you can get that cheaper camera, do the work, and then it's still going to get the same. It's still going to be stacked up against a project that that costs $50 million.
I guess
Amazon,
it's the visual equivalent of like what Len and I talk about with guitars, that you could have a shitty guitar, but the sound is all in your hands. If you know how to use it, you can make it sound good, and in this case, you can make it look good,
right?
Even without spending a ton of money, because you know what you're doing.
Right.
So,
and I'm not saying those cameras aren't worth it. I'm not saying, but for what I'm doing, that's overkill.
Right.
Like it was.
No. So what about? I know you also actually do pictures, or take pictures of people. You do photography.
Right.
Do you have? Are you still budget on that? As not budget, but like spend
no.
what you need to do the thing that you want to do without having to go overboard.
I mean, I still spend money on my cameras, like on my photo cameras, because like my Canon 5D Mark II, I've had that for 10 years and I'm still taking pictures with that. Photos, like cameras, they age better.
Okay.
Because
because a static image is different than a moving image.
Right. So you can take a picture with a camera that you bought 15 years ago, and if everything's on point, it'll still end up on the cover of a magazine.
Right.
Yeah, it's still good enough for that. Like, you can't take a VHS camera and shoot a movie on it and expect it to hold up when you throw it on Netflix or Amazon or Hulu or whatever 15 different services they're trying to bleed you dry with.
Yeah, because it's all changed so much.
But maybe you want that aesthetic.
Unless
you want that warble.
If that's what you're going for, if that's like a deliberate choice and that helps you tell the story, then that's fine. But, if you're trying to do the next Die Hard with a handy cam,
you're gonna need something higher than that, son.
Right? Yeah, you're gonna save up your pennies.
So, you take pictures,
right?
You shoot movies.
Yes.
You hang out at the bars in Trenton.
Well, yeah, when there were bars. Yeah.
When there were bars in Trenton.
Yeah.
What does Jeff actually do for personal fun that isn't those three things? Are you an avid movie watcher? Like, is that like your main thing?
I mean, I try to watch at least five new movies a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it's not even. It's studying to me.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not even like I enjoy them, and I enjoy cinema in general. But it's like when you listen to, like, I'm sure as a musician, when you listen to music, you're also kind of like deconstructing it, and studying it.
I get no enjoyment out of listening to music anymore, unless it's like old music, because the old stuff, like things that I've listened to 1,000 times, I'm no longer deconstructing it. And, it's even before I started in on my quest for, being good at recording music or engineering or whatever way you want to call it. I enjoy that music a lot more than I enjoy current music, because as I'm listening to current stuff, I'm like, well, what the fuck did they do to make this?
Right. Yeah. No, and I totally get it. I mean, I still enjoy movies, but like, I have to watch a movie once just to get it out of the way, just to like, all right, that's interesting. Think about what they're doing it. Then again, to try to find the enjoyment in it.
Okay. So what movies have you found enjoyment in recently? Or TV shows? TV shows too?
TV shows, Mandalorian.
Okay.
Just because I grew up with Star Wars, and it is the closest thing we've gotten in years to what the actual spirit of Star Wars was. If you look at Star Wars, like the original trilogy, that was nothing but Western influenced samurai film.
Yep.
And You look at Mandalorian, that's nothing but lone wolf and cub.
Yep, exactly. It really goes back to the basic blocks of what Lucas pulled from, because he pulled from so many different influences.
Right.
I mean, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, where it was westerns and Lone Wolf and Cub and samurai movies and Flash Gordon serials and all kinds of other stuff.
And the thing, like, I really appreciate it. I don't know if you haven't watched the end of Mandalorian by now.
No, I watched it.
I'm going to spoil it. Like, but anyone who's listening, if you haven't watched it by now, fuck you. The thing I really appreciated about the Mandalorian was no references to the Skywalkers. I am so goddamn sick of the Skywalkers and that whole entire family. There's a whole entire galaxy out there, characters that you can use, new shit. And I love the Mandalorian up until, like, all right, Boba Fett was cool. All right, that was kind of cool. All right, but that felt like it was butting up against fan service. And then when Luke Skywalker showed up at the end, I was like, oh, come on, man. Like, it couldn't have been anybody else. Like, it couldn't have been the ghost of Obi-Wan or some Jedi that, escaped Order 66. Like, is that? So.
Well, you got to think about it from the timing aspect of when the Mandalorian is set, because the Mandalorian is set right after Return of the Jedi, so it only makes sense to utilize that to tie it in. And I guarantee you that they won't continue too hard with it.
Yeah, but, like, how interesting would it have been? And, like, I posted this on my Facebook. I posed this question. When Baby Yoda, what's his name, Grogu, reached out into the Force, right? Like, they said any Jedi in the galaxy who heeds the call, right? As we know, Jedis don't die. They become a Force ghost, right? So how interesting would it have been if it was the Force ghost of one of these dead Master Jedis who ends up training him? Like the ghost of Mace Windu or the ghost of Obi-Wan,
Well, all right. You got to think about it this way, though. Luke's trainer and the person that was most close to him was Yoda.
All right.
So, Baby Yoda sends out the signal. You have to know that Luke is on that.
Yeah, I get it. I just wish they were more. It was a more interesting choice than that. I would have preferred a more interesting choice. Man, I got teary-eyed when that X-wing entered the hangar because you knew.
I thought so, and it wasn't until I saw the glove on his hand that I was like, "Fuck, it is him."
See, I knew as soon as this green lightsaber came out. I was
like,
lightsaber.
I was thinking maybe, but then when I saw the glove, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Like, as soon as I saw the X-wing, it's like, it's motherfucking Luke, and I was like, "Yeah!" I cheered, but then part of me was like, "Can we get past this? Can we get some new stories?"
See, I think they've been doing real well as far as telling new stories while still using a lot of classic elements, which I think is cool.
Classic elements is fine, but they're relying too heavily on that Skywalker. And you know what? If it weren't for the sequel trilogy, maybe I would feel different.
Well,
but that the whole entire J.J. Abrams era of Star Wars, it ruined Star Wars for me, man.
Yeah, you will get no disagreement here. As a diehard Star Wars fan, sitting
and
here
as a person
wearing a Darth Maul shirt right now, by the way.
And I liked The Last Jedi just because they tried to do something different. Like, it wasn't a great movie, but I liked it better than The Last Skywalker or whatever the fuck. My dad owns a dealership. Star Wars. My dad owns a dealership. That's what I call them. That's what the last movie is, because they build up. They got rid of the midichlorians bullshit, which I'm glad, right? And then
they hinted at it on the Mandalorian. They didn't fully get rid of it, but they're trying to just kind of push it down under the table.
Right, but so in The Last Jedi, it's established if you try hard enough, maybe you too can be a Jedi, right? And that's where it kind of got interesting for me with Finn, with Rey in the Last Skywalker, because all right, maybe she's just some chick who's real Force sensitive, and then you find out she's Palpatine's granddaughter, and I was like, okay, so it doesn't. So it definitely totally matters who you are in the universe. So there's no coming, start at the bottom, now I'm here shit.
So I gotta be honest with you, Jeff. I did not watch The Rise of Skywalker or The Last Jedi or however the fuck it all works out. I only watched The Force Awakens. I had intentions to watch the other two, but everybody keeps talking bad about them, and I just don't want to waste my time. So I didn't watch them. I mean,
you watch them to be a completist, but don't watch them.
Yeah.
I don't live my life as a completist. I watch what I want to watch.
I think you should watch it just to get a perspective on it and to be able to have conversations about it.
Yeah, but these conversations seem to be really painful.
Yeah, but at least you could put it all in context, because I think a lot of that stuff is going to come into play in the future too.
Yeah. Well, unless they write it out.
That's part of it. As far as the Skywalker thing goes, with the end of The Mandalorian, I see your point, Jeff, and I have to say, you're the first person that said anything remotely critical about that last episode of The Mandalorian, which I do see your point, but at the same time, there's not a lot of Jedi around. You put the call out, you can't be surprised when the sheriff shows up. You know what I mean?
Like I said, I wasn't surprised that he showed up.
Yeah.
I just wish they had done better. I wish they had tried harder, but I get it. I 100% get it. And it makes sense. I just wish they had gone a different way. And like I said, if it weren't for the last 3 movies, Luke Skywalker showing up I would have been, jerking off with a bottle of Hennessy and, on the street. You don't know.
Right in front of a police station.
Right in front of a police station,
Oh, man.
Yeah,
But I as a diehard Star Wars fan, I've reached the point now, because there's been a lot of rumors that they're gonna kind of retcon those movies to a side universe or something.
Right.
That last trilogy can just go in the garbage as far as I'm concerned. I didn't hate The Force Awakens. I absolutely hated The Last Jedi. And The Rise of Skywalker was just so obviously them trying to fix the damn thing when it already fell all the way down 10 flights of stairs.
And did you read the script for Duel of the Fates?
No, I didn't. I skimmed parts of it. I didn't read the whole thing.
Why they didn't do the Duel of the Fates script as the last movie?
And actually, I did see some videos on YouTube kind of outlining the script that they had, but I didn't actually sit there and read it. I do have it saved somewhere, I think.
And as much as I appreciate J.J. Abrams' nerd, if you look at his body of work, he should have stuck with Star Trek.
He's got some good stuff, and he's got a lot of okay stuff.
He should have stayed with Star Trek. I think he had one more great Star Trek movie in him. But, everyone wants to direct the Star Wars. Everybody wants to be the Kevin Feige of Star Wars.
Right, which has obviously failed for everyone so far.
Yeah. Right.
It hasn't worked at all. But we had a discussion about it a couple weeks ago the whole problem with J.J. Abrams and Star Trek, and then him going to Star Wars and being able to do what he wanted, which involved all kinds of marketing and stuff. I'm not going to repeat the conversation, but he tried to write the things he couldn't do with Star Trek because they wanted to keep the old marketing and the old toys based on the classic stuff. He basically got to do with Star Wars, and it completely ruined it because all the toys that they put out for the sequel trilogy just completely bombed. You could still find them in clearance in Target and Walmart because nobody wanted any of that stuff.
Because it wasn't a fun trilogy. Like emo Darth Vader, fucking like glorified black dude. Like it was pretty much a cameo.
Because he doesn't really. The problem with that whole trilogy is that for the most part, most of them don't really do anything.
Right. And,
they don't go anywhere. Like there's no progression with these characters that feels anywhere near natural.
There's no payoff. There's like the whole entire Captain Phasma bullshit. Like she's another Darth Maul. When the Phantom Menace came out and like the marketing for that, Darth Maul this, Darth Maul that.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, he's gonna be the baddest motherfucker in the universe. He's gonna kick. Yeah, it's like he's in the movie for 10 minutes.
Yeah. And they kill him, but they were smart and brought him back later.
Right, but that's like that was all due to like the books and like the extended universe and shit like that.
Well, no, they finally brought him back in the Han Solo movie.
Don't get me started on the Han Solo movie either.
I like the Han Solo movie.
It was enjoyable. I will give you that. It was enjoyable, but we didn't need that shit. I go like here's my whole entire take on this shit. You look at Jaws, right?
Right.
The movie. It's good and it's scary because the shark just does what the shark does, right? We don't need a prequel when the shark is young and you see his mom get speared by Quint's older brother and he's on a revenge mission. Like I don't need to know where the things I like come from. I just like the things that I like. And you don't have to explain everything.
You don't want to know how the sausage is made.
Right. That's why the Halloween Halloween movies.
Oh boy.
Some of them work. Some of them don't. The ones that work don't try to deconstruct Michael Myers. Michael Myers is just he's a force of nature. Yeah.
Len, we got to ask him, Len. We have to ask him.
So we have an episode that's coming out probably next week where we really talk about the Halloween movies with my boy John Wren. But I need to get your take on this.
Okay.
So let's talk about the Halloween. Let's do this for a minute here.
Okay, let's do it.
Better be listening, John Wren.
So there are 9, 10 movies in the Halloween.
That's so many.
So many movies in the Halloween canon, non-canon, etc.
Well, like, do we count? Are we counting the Rob Zombies?
Yes, technically we are counting them for being in the franchise.
Right.
There's a total of 11 movies, according to what I have, but that may include the stuff that hasn't come out yet.
Right, that includes the new path. So, where do you stand on Halloween 2?
Like the original?
Yeah, the original and the original.
Yeah, the classics, 78 and 81.
They are. Well, the original Halloween is masterfully done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not scary now. Like when I first watched it, it wasn't scary because I was already desensitized. But it's a master. It's John Carpenter, a master of his craft, letting him do what he needs to do, and creating a horror icon. I've never seen Halloween 2.
What?
Really?
I've never seen. If I have, I can't remember it.
It's literally just they continue the story from part 1.
Yeah, man.
It's like the next day, basically.
Like they're basically one movie.
Yeah, it's one long movie.
Well, now I know what I'm doing tonight.
Okay, so then we're going to have to rewind to this at some other point when we get you back on here. Now, you've got all the other sequels. So in one line, there's basically that leaves Halloween 2, and you get to Halloween 4, 5, and 6, which are Return, Revenge, and The Curse of Michael Myers.
So we're not even counting Season of the Witch.
That's a whole nother story.
That's a whole... We're getting there, don't worry.
We'll get there.
Okay.
So in the original line of Michael Myers...
What about H2O?
Yeah, that's an offshoot.
Okay.
So hold on, I will send you this picture just so that you have the concept of what we're talking about right now. I'm gonna send it to you in 1 second here.
That the timeline one?
Yeah, that timeline, John. All right, it's coming in on Facebook. It's a link to a picture. So, in the main line that follows the original story straight through, it's Halloween 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6.
All right, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
So that honestly is my favorite line of all the lines that exist for Halloween. Okay. Now you brought up H2O and Resurrection, which are an offshoot that ignore 4, 5, and 6 completely.
Right.
Resurrection.
Just straight hot garbage.
Yes.
Oh yeah. No one's ever going to try to argue that Halloween, like, Halloween H2O, that the one with was it Busta Rhymes, wasn't it?
Well, no, Resurrection's the one with Busta Rhymes. H2O is the one with LL Cool J.
I don't care.
Now, LL Cool, the H2O one is nowhere near as bad as the Resurrection one. Nowhere near as bad.
Look, so I've got the summer of '98 when H2O came out. It was a very special summer for me because I started dating this girl named Allison Miller, redhead with freckles. So we saw a lot of movies. So I have an affinity for H2O because it was a good summer.
Okay,
but it is a horror movie. Oh, it is like you could add. Like I can't even get the rappers that were in it correct. That's how bad. There are only 3 rappers who act. I fucked up all of them in H2O.
Okay, so have you seen 4, 5, and 6?
I have seen 4, 5, and 6.
I don't think that they're good, but they're not terrible. And 6 being the best of the 3.
I'll give you that. I'll agree with you.
And especially, I have regular 6, and then I have the director's cut. The director's cut of The Curse of Michael Myers is on par with 1 and 2 easily.
Oh, I'm gonna have to borrow that from you.
If you can't find it, I'll lend it to you. It's no problem.
I am totally not going to pirate these movies tonight.
No, you're totally not going to.
No,
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pay Amazon the $15.99 that they want for 30-year-old movies to rent.
You are not going to turn on your VPN.
Right, exactly. That is not going to happen.
And be located in Belize.
What's a VPN?
Okay. So, we've talked about the main line. We've talked about the line to Resurrection. They've got this new line where they started at... Basically, they ignored everything else that we've already talked about, and they just started off with New Halloween, which is a sequel to the first one. And I thought that movie fucking was amazing in comparison to all the bullshit that I've seen along the way. Did you enjoy that one?
I loved the remake, whatever you want, the reboot, whatever. I love the 2018 so much because it was aesthetically kind of on par with what Rob Zombie tried to do with at least the his first Halloween, where you see the stuff in the mental institution, and but it is a dime tight, unapologetic thriller, like horror movie.
Yeah.
So like they can do no wrong in my eyes now. Like I can't wait for the next two.
Right. That's where I'm sitting, is that I'm really excited about Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends.
Yeah. So
do you think it's going to actually end there? Do you think they're going to stop? Or do you think that there's going to be a new offshoot from something else?
Depends on. I don't know what they're going to do with two and like the second and third one with the kills and ends. I don't know what they're going to introduce. I don't know what they're going to like. I don't know if they're going to leave themselves out to be able to do offshoots.
So if Laurie Strode gets killed in Halloween Ends, does that and her daughters get killed? Does that mean that Michael has no more reason to keep being motivated to kill? And that will cause it to end? And I'm just speculating based on the reasoning for why he keeps following her.
Theoretically.
As a whole.
I think that would be a great way to wrap it up.
Just end it that way.
I think that would be the best way to go.
I mean,
because I don't want to see a story like that's the thing that I have a problem with 4, 5, and 6. If you're asking me what I would have a problem with is that she's not in those movies. Like my problem with Halloween 3, and we're gonna get to this in a minute, is that it's not a Michael Myers movie. It's an offshoot nonsense piece of shit.
Right.
But 4, 5, and 6 do not focus on the Laurie Strode character. The daughter or niece or something is the focus of the 4 and 5, and she's tied to Laurie Strode somehow, but they don't get into it as deep as they should, so that I at least understand the connection.
I'm pretty sure it's the niece.
So, like you doing movies without Jamie Lee Curtis, I'm not in.
Okay.
I mean, I watched them and I enjoy them. They're okay movies,
but you don't feel that they're not Halloween movies.
Yes.
So
then when they brought out H2O and she was back, I was all in, and I enjoyed the movie. Resurrection, we've talked enough about that. We don't need to discuss that any further. Terrible movie, just bad. But when they came out with the 2018, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in. And I was not disappointed. The only thing that disappointed me was that they could have done it so that it was Halloween 1, 2, H2O, and then pick up from there. That would have made a lot more sense to me than to just write off all the other stuff. Like literally just scraped it right off the plate.
But does H2O does H2O, is there any kind of connection at all, even like cursory? Like I don't even remember what H2O was about.
She had a son, and she was the proctor or some shit like that at like a boys' school or like a boarding school of some sort, and he found her there, and Halloween ensued.
And Halloween ensues.
I mean that's literally how they wrote it. Like somehow he figured out where she was and came stalking.
It went all Halloween.
Right. Anyway, so that's my only thing is like they've now written for 6 movies right off, just like fuck them. These 6 movies never happened. This is what happened.
I mean, good. Sometimes you got to clean the plate. Sometimes you start fresh.
So I didn't watch the Rob Zombie movies. I refused to watch the Rob Zombie movies. Now, Ren told me, and we'll hear about this next week, that I should at least watch the first one.
I haven't watched the second one.
Yeah, okay.
But I watched the first one, and honestly, I liked the first half hour.
That's a ringing endorsement for a damn near 2-hour movie.
Well, here's the thing. I like Rob Zombie's aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a really good art director. It looks pretty. Like, just like all of his movies, they look pretty. Or like, not, you know what I'm saying by pretty.
Yeah.
They look competently shot. It's got an aesthetic. It wasn't good.
Okay.
Like, he couldn't direct this. Like, he couldn't, like, I felt nothing for anybody in it.
Okay.
But that's the same way I feel about, like, you know, The Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses and, you know, Three from Hell. They're great looking movies. But if you were trying to analyze story and execution and acting and all the things besides the visuals that make it a movie, he's horrible. He's bad.
So, I enjoy House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. I refuse to watch Three the hard way?
Three from Hell.
Three from Hell.
Three from Hell,
which I never watched either.
Is Devil's Rejects in Mexico?
Okay.
With luchadors.
Yeah, I'll pass.
It's
now I want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, don't go into it expecting high art.
Well, I wouldn't go into any Rob Zombie expecting high art to be
like you're going to see
true.
It gives you everything that you want from a Rob Zombie movie.
Okay.
Gratuitous sex and nudity, gratuitous violence, and that's it. Like, if you go in with those things in mind, yeah.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. Maybe I'll watch it, but and maybe I'll give Halloween 2007 a little spin. But there is a good chance I will turn it off. And if I can't make it to the end, I definitely won't watch part 2. Now, the important part of this whole entire conversation is: do you have a small wiener or not? So, according to John Wren, which we will find out next week, is if you dislike Halloween 3, you got a small dick. So are you joining me and Gary on the small dick team, or do you think it's a good movie?
Oh, fuck. Oh. Yeah, I'm I am not a long hogsman.
Long hogsman.
I was tiny dick dude. I mean, this is.
I don't know.
So I detailed
John Wren is off base with this damn thing.
I detailed this in the other episode, and I am not going to go into full detail on this, but I think that this movie is the biggest hunk of shit that has ever come out. The funny thing is, after we had that conversation with him, I was telling Gary this earlier, it came on TV not 2 days later, and we're not even talking about like in Halloween season. I'm talking like 2 weeks ago. It was on the fucking TV on some like Halloween marathon that they put on for no goddamn reason at all. So I'm like, all right, Season of the Witch is coming on. Do I watch this or not? And I was like, well, I got to double check and see if I got a small dick or not. So I'm going to watch this fucking movie. And it's fucking terrible. And I'm watching it, and like, I can't find anything good about the movie. Now, I will say, if I take myself out of it and don't judge it as a Halloween movie specifically, because
it's not
Michael
a Halloween
Myers
movie.
is not in the movie. Like, it's not a Michael Myers movie. If I take myself out of it, then it becomes less irritating, but still really bad.
So does that mean you have a medium-sized dick then? Like,
it's a grower, not a shower.
Okay. I gotta listen to this episode because I gotta know, how's that work? How's that theory work?
He details it a little bit for you.
He was very
that
adamant about it.
I'm glad you've joined us on the small dick team because right now it's 3-1, and he's just plain wrong.
But this is amazing. I'm going to use that for every movie that I love. He's done changed the game, man. Like,
I mean,
you don't like Armageddon? You got a small dick.
I'll say this too, since obviously the gauge works a little different for her. My girlfriend is a much bigger horror fan than I am. She's like deep into it. And when I told her about that conversation and played her parts of that conversation, she was just like, really? That's the fucking movie that he's going to declare war on? Because even she hated that fucking thing.
That's the hill he's going to die on.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly what I said. Like, you're going to die on this hill? Really?
And he was
on Big
more
Dick
than
Hill?
willing. Than willing to die on that hill.
But my girlfriend was just like, yo, that shit was trash. What the fuck is he talking about?
So I got a question for you, Jeff.
Okay.
Who are your favorite directors? Like, if you're like hearing a movie's coming out or whatever, and you're just like, yo, I can't wait to watch this guy's fucking movie. I don't even care. Like, do you have like a list of people that almost can do no wrong?
I got a couple, but the guy at the top of the list is actually dead.
Okay.
Tony Scott.
Tony Scott. So what did he do? Because that sounds familiar.
Okay, so Tony Scott did Days of Thunder.
Oh, so good. Wow. Let me out of the car, Cole. Let me out of the car.
Top Gun. Like most of the action movies with Denzel Washington in the late 90s, early 2000s. So he did like Man on Fire.
The one where he was in the bank. Did he do that one?
No, that was Spike Lee.
Oh, okay.
Crimson Tide.
Mm-hmm.
Deja Vu. Unstoppable. Domino. Like he did a whole bunch of, like.
Oh yeah, I'm looking him up now. The Last Boy Scout.
The Last Boy Scout is so good.
You right?
Yo,
right?
That is an unsung.
That's a great movie. I saw that in the theaters. I remember that.
I definitely saw that movie in the theaters, but then I watched it 1,000,003 times on cable because it was on constantly.
Man, during the beginning of the pandemic, I just went through and watched all of Tony Scott's movies. I'm just like, yo, even his worst movie is fire. Right? You remember that movie Unstoppable? It was Denzel Washington on a freight train.
Uh-huh.
Tony Scott made an action movie about a freight train, and it was hot. It was so good.
Whoa, now I looked them up. True Romance is where I know Tony Scott from. If I had to put my finger on it,
right? Like his visual style, his choreography with the camera. He's always experimenting with new looks. And you can always tell a Tony Scott film. Like a lot of directors, they don't have a signature.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like you look at a Tony Scott film.
He's got a look.
Like you know it's a Tony Scott film. It's like if Michael Bay was intelligent. And I love Michael Bay. I'm not going to clown on him. The dude's made billions of dollars, blowing shit up. But like, Tony Scott is the thinking man's Michael Bay.
Okay.
And can I blow you guys' minds for a second with some random stupid trivia like I like to do?
Sure, do it. Let's get it.
The Last Boy Scout. Do you remember how it starts? Football game.
Yeah, football game.
Player. In the rain. Yeah.
The football player ends up taking PCP and has a gun on the field and shit.
Right.
You know who played that football player?
Not off the top of my head. Who?
Billy Blanks. Billy Blanks.
Blanks.
The Billy Blanks
guy.
I had no idea. I just saw that and I'm like, wait, what?
That's crazy.
So Tybo guy got fucking.
So what did my man die from? He jumped off the Vincent Thomas Bridge?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I remember that now.
Like, I'm not sure. I think I wasn't sure if it was mental issues or if he was like dying of cancer and he just didn't want to like have to put his family through that.
Well, no, it says his spokesman. So I'm on the Wikipedia. Right. Dun dun on the Wikipedia, and it says that his spokesperson said that he left 2 notes, but he didn't mention any health problems.
Okay, so it was mental issues. I mean, there's like I never got the full story, But like, I was honestly sad when he died, and he's Ridley Scott's brother.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
honestly,
and I'm actually reading, by the way, Ridley Scott said afterwards that he had been fighting cancer and that the family kept it quiet, but there's no mention of it in the coroner's report.
Right.
So it's kind of questionable.
Right. But I think, like, as much as I love Ridley Scott, I think Tony Scott is a better director overall than Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott, when he has a hit, it's a hit. It changes the game. Tony Scott, consistent. You can watch it. You can put a Tony Scott film on right now.
But the key to his movies are that they're rewatchable.
Right.
Yeah.
They're rewatchable, and I'm always seeing new stuff.
So what I would equate that to in the music world is like if Chris Lord-Alge or Joe Barresi or one of these guys like Andrew Wade make a mix. They don't make a mix that they're trying to like necessarily appease current standards. They're trying to make a mix that's going to be good no matter what year you listen to it. It's timeless. And right. I would say that when you watch those movies, they're kind of timeless. The only thing that would bring you out of it would be like, no cell phones, no this, that, or the other thing, because they're set in a time where that didn't exist, but they're still well-shot movies, and they have repeat play value.
Yeah. So Tony Scott, Quentin Tarantino, always, forever.
Always.
I'm obsessed with him, and I will fight anyone who doesn't get Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That is like so good. That movie is so good.
Didn't we talk about this, Len?
We might have talked about it.
I forget.
I think
maybe we talked about it privately. I don't remember.
I think that's actually one of his best movies.
It's his most fun movie.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
It's his most his most fun movie, and you got to think about it this way. Like I'm not going to ruin it for anybody. It's a 2.5 hour setup for the most hilarious 20-minute punchline.
I would agree 100%.
Yeah,
it's a joke, and if you don't get that it's a joke, like it's Quentin Tarantino telling a joke. Can you imagine Quentin Tarantino telling you a joke? It's going to be long as fuck, but the ending is going to kill you.
Right. I watched that movie. At first, I was like, I'm not going to watch this movie because honestly, I'm not a big Leonardo DiCaprio fan. I'm just not. So I generally avoid movies he's in, but I have grown to like Brad Pitt. Like, I started out hating Brad Pitt.
You've grown? Well, what was the turning point?
Snatch.
Okay.
So then that's still early.
That's a little later than me. Dude, to me, him in 12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys was
fucking
good.
Phenomenal.
It was good.
7
Absolutely
was good.
Phenomenal. Seven was good, but 12 Monkeys, he was insane.
Like,
for me, it was Snatch because he was so good at being unintelligible and so likable as the Piker or the Pikey or whatever way you want to point him out as. I was like, yo, this dude can actually act. And I've just been a dickhead about it.
Like,
there are versions of the DVD that have separate subtitles just for the Pikey.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I have the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But on Brad Pitt, I've always liked him, him as an actor, but he always seemed like a movie star. He didn't seem like an actor to me until Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, so good. That movie is so good.
When I saw him in Inglourious Bastards, all right, okay, I get it.
Permanent rewatch on that movie.
Yep. So good.
It probably, all right, so Tarantino movies. Obviously, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs are always going to be near the top.
Right.
I love Kill Bill, but if you tell me that I need to pick like 1 or 2 movies to rewatch forever, it would probably be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Inglourious Bastards, because both of those movies are perfect blends of everything that I liked beforehand.
I will give you, if you give me 3, Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight is great too. I actually called out. I think I told Muttley this, but I called out of work to go watch that in the 80. What was it? 78 millimeter or whatever.
The 75 millimeter. And
yeah,
I will always love Hateful Eight because I actually got to watch it with Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So my buddy Brandon, like, short story long. My boy Brandon, he's a movie reviewer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a National Board Review and stuff like that. Sometimes he gets me into these movie screenings. So he's like, Jeff, I can get us into the screening of of Hateful Eight, right? And it's usually a press screening. So like afterwards they have the Q&A and shit like that. So I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. So I call out of work to go see this. So like how it's supposed to be seen. We're in this old, style theater in New York, and we're sitting in the top balcony, and we see all these seats in front of us are reserved. They have a reserve sign on them, and like that's nothing new. It's probably like execs and shit like that checking it out. So we're bullshitting, we're hanging out, we're waiting for the movie to start, and he elbows me and he goes, "Look," and I look, and there's this tall, beautiful blonde woman walking around looking for her seats. And I'm like, all right, motherfucker, we're in New York. She's pretty, blonde, and tall. They're a dime a dozen. Pretty bitches in New York is not an unusual occurrence. And he goes, no, look. And I look, it's like, holy fuck, that's Uma Thurman. And I was like, oh shit, we're gonna watch Quentin Tarantino movie with Uma Thurman. That's kind of cool. So she's walking around. She sees that her seats are in front of us. So she sits down and she takes a call. She lifts up the phone and it says Quentin Tarantino on it.
And you're like, what?
I was like, what? I was like, and she's giving him directions to where she's sitting in the theater, right? So the movie starts, and he walks in all goofy and shit like that, as he does, and sits down right fucking in front of us. And so we're laughing extra hard at the jokes and shit like that, because Quentin Tarantino's sitting right in front
there.
of us.
You can't stonewall his jokes while he's sitting in front of you.
Right. So the intermission comes, and he turns around, he's talking to all the execs, and he's talking to Uma and shit like that, and he leans forward, and the reserved sign is stuck to his back. And we're like, we can't let him walk out of here. We can't let him walk to the bathroom with this sign on his back. So we're like, who's gonna fucking tell him? Who's gonna tell him? So my boy Brandon is like, all right, I'll do it. So he taps him on the shoulder real light, like as if he was porcelain and you were gonna break him. So he taps on the shoulder, and Quentin Tarantino turns around and is like, yes? And it's like, you got a sign on your back, the reserve sign. And he he reaches for it, he looks at it like, huh. Luckily he didn't say kick me. And we're giggling like he told the funniest joke ever.
They're giggling like two schoolgirls.
Right, exactly. Man. We were two little fucking giddy ass bitches. But it's just like such an experience that I got to watch a Quentin Tarantino movie fucking with Quentin Tarantino. But like also the Hateful Eight is an amazing film.
Yeah.
And the last 5 minutes when they're hanging her, like I rewind that so much because the whole entire it's amazing.
So I tried to get Megan to watch this movie with me, and she absolutely fucking hated it. I put it on in the living room, and she's just like, I can't watch this. And she actually is just like a Quentin Tarantino hater. She hates Kill Bill.
I dated one of those. It was very difficult.
Like the only one that I would argue that she can deal with is Pulp Fiction, and that movie is kind of easy to palate in comparison to some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, there's just too much talking. It's just, I don't know, it's so slow. And I'm like, yeah, he's building to something, and you got to watch the whole fucking thing so that when you get there, there's an actual payoff.
Like Django. Like the whole entire movie is a build-up to, like, the last 5 minutes, the last 10 minutes.
So, all right, I've gone on record saying that Django is one of my least favorite of his movies, and mainly because it feels like Kill Bill Part 3, just in a different setting. Even down to the similarity in the fight scene towards the end that is almost the exact same as the fight scene in Kill Bill with the crazy 88s. I'm like, dude, you just wrote the same, like, you came to me with the same shit. I just paid you money and you duped me.
Yeah, I could see that. For sure.
I can see that.
Now,
but then again, I'm not a
Christopher Waltz is amazing in that movie. So there are still parts of it that I like, but it's my least favorite of his movies.
I am actually not a big fan of Kill Bill.
Really?
Yeah, it's good, but like if you ask me what my favorite Tarantino movies are, it's not making the list.
Okay.
I don't know what it is that I haven't really sat down to like probe my inner feelings to find out why this movie does not connect to me.
So the reason that I immediately got connected to the movie is because in Pulp Fiction, it's referenced 2 or 3 times, and then he went through and made the movie.
Yeah,
as a secondary,
right.
And like, so for me, immediately watching the movie, I was like, and I'm like having those Easter egg moments through the whole movie. And then, a lot of the characters are kind of either brother, sister, cousin, whatever retreads of previous characters.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I'm seeing another part of a story that I've already seen somewhere else. Like, here's more stuff.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I just don't know. Like, it's got kung fu. I love kung fu. I love revenge flicks. I love chick revenge flicks. I love anything with a female assassin. I'll watch. They're very rarely good, but that's like a genre that it's like those
that
and
you're
heist
still
films.
already with.
Yeah, like heist films. I'm a sucker for a heist film. I'm also a sucker for a female assassin film. But it just didn't it didn't resonate with me. And this is from I would rank that Kill Bill lower than Death Proof.
See, now I love Death Proof. I hated it when I saw it in the theater.
Right, because it was too long. It was too much. It was too.
But then when I watched it at home, because I'm a glutton for punishment, and I did watch the movie again, I was like, all right, wait, this movie is actually really good, but I just wasn't prepared for it when I was given it.
Because it was such a slowdown from Planet Terror.
Yeah, Planet Terror.
Yeah.
Planet Terror was wild, and then this was like, all right, is it over yet?
Right.
But if you just watch it by itself.
Right. If you had flipped the order, that was my biggest problem with Grindhouse. If they had flipped the order, if Death Proof had gone first, and then Planet Terror second, Death Proof would have played better.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
They should have also pulled out 15 minutes of Death Proof. That would have made it go a little bit faster if they had put it in front.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if they had come with Death Proof first, and it was as long and slow as it was, people would have been half asleep by the time Planet Terror came on.
Yeah,
so
put it first and tighten it up a little bit. It would have definitely been better.
Yep.
And Planet Terror is my absolute favorite Robert Rodriguez film.
Well, it's probably his best film.
Yeah, you can fucking keep the more and more I watch Desperado, think about Desperado and El Mariachi, they were cute concepts. They're good concepts. Yeah, but actually, I will give you what's the one with the vampires?
From Dusk Till Dawn.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
But that's like a combination movie of him and Tarantino together.
Well, yeah.
Well, Tarantino wrote it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And Rodriguez directed it. But, I mean, they were sucking each other off the whole time making that damn movie, so it is what it is. But I do enjoy From Dusk Till Dawn, and I do like the twist at the middle of the movie, etc.
Right.
But Planet Terror is the best movie he put out.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, my personal favorite is Spy Kids.
Are you kidding?
Oh, I'm totally kidding.
Okay, I'm just double checking.
You had to ask me that, really?
Hey, you had a serious look on your face.
I'm good with that.
And I wanted to like Machete more than I did.
I liked Machete, but I didn't like Machete 2.
Yeah, I didn't really like the second one that much.
I'm not going to say it was a great movie. I just enjoyed it. It was fun. Like, I just left it at it was fun.
I wish he had gone to space, though. I would like to see Machete in space.
So speaking of space movies, the other night I'm sitting on the couch and I started out watching Friday the 13th Part 7.
I thought it was Jason. I thought it was 10. The one.
10,
wait, no.
10
Wait.
space.
Well, let me
go ahead.
go.
Okay.
You guys are cock blocking my story.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So I'm watching 7, and Megan turns to me and she's like, "This movie is terrible." And I was like, "Oh, it gets worse." And she's like, "How could it get worse than this?" And I was like, "Well, the next movie that's coming on is Part 8, where he goes to Manhattan." And I'm like, and she's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, it's coming on next, so we're gonna watch it." So then we watched that, and then they skipped 9. They didn't even play 9. And
what was 9?
I don't even remember what 9 was. It was just
9
trash.
was Jason Goes to Hell.
To hell, yeah. They didn't even play that, but they did play Jason X, and I was like, "Oh, let's watch this."
They skipped Jason Goes to Hell just like everybody else skipped Jason Goes to Hell.
So we watched him go to space, and literally we lost every brain cell that ever existed.
Oh, so terrible. So terrible.
Going to space is probably it's better off that Machete didn't go to space.
There's only one thing worse than that, which is when they did Hellraiser in space.
Nope, absolutely not.
That was oh man.
Wait, did Leprechaun go to space too?
I think maybe, but I never saw it.
I know he went to the hood twice.
Yes, he did go. Number 4 in space. Leprechaun in space. And that's when you know that it's over. You should be done. Like, if somebody says we should go to space.
Immediate shark jump.
Done.
Immediate shark jump.
We're not having this conversation. Series is over. Let's move on.
Speaking of
okay, so you got Tony Scott. You've got Quentin Tarantino. Is there anybody else in the can't do any wrong, I need to watch it list?
Scorsese.
I'm going to fucking disagree with that. I'm bored to death with him, but okay.
I mean, like...
That's just my personal disagreement.
Right. I mean, like, we could argue about The Irishman till the cows come home, and I could argue both sides. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, too. He does go long, though, and I can understand why some people can't get with that.
And I didn't have a problem with it going long. I didn't have a problem with The Irishman at all. I think The Irishman is a culmination of every movie he's ever made. Every movie he's ever made was building up to The Irishman.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'm looking at his list right now, and I mean, there are some movies on this list that I absolutely love, but Taxi Driver and Raging Bull both came out in 76 and 1980. And then, like, The Color of Money is okay. Goodfellas I enjoyed it at the time, but I cannot rewatch it at this point.
Really?
Yeah, I don't love the movie anymore.
I rewatching it last week.
I was just saying, it's on TV a lot, and I watch it whenever it's on.
I will skip it every time. I just won't watch it.
Well, let's talk about Casino, though.
Casino's good. I enjoy Casino.
I saw Casino in theaters when it first came out. I was like, 15, 16. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't ready for it.
Right.
That's the problem. I wasn't ready for that movie. Watching it as an adult, that shit's real. That shit's awesome.
I enjoyed it. I remember seeing it in the theater. I mean, it was a long ass haul in the theater, which I can hang with. The girl that I was dating at the time was a smoker, and she was starting to fucking bug out. But tough shit.
So, Gangs of New York. Everybody loved that movie. I hated it.
I hated it the first time I saw it, and I tried to, much like most of quarantine, I rewatched it during quarantine, and I hate it less, but I still don't love it. I don't, it's tolerable. You know what ruined that movie for me? And it's the most bullshit reason. The very end where they decided to just throw that fucking U2 song.
Well, you put U2 in anything and I'm out.
I was like,
I almost threw my iPhone out when they came with a U2
when they put the song, the record.
The whole entire album on there, and every time it would just reappear.
Yeah, no, I don't want this.
I remember.
It would just reappear. I was like, oh, I gotta fucking root this thing out.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it, which is funny because, as we've talked about, I'm such a New York City history nerd. You would think that I would be all over it, but I didn't love it, and it wouldn't make, if I did a top Scorsese list, it wouldn't be on there.
Yeah. So everybody talks about The Departed like it's one of the greatest movies. I have refused to watch it. And you're going to ask me, well, why'd you refuse to watch it? Because Leonardo DiCaprio is in the fucking movie.
I knew
and I
that
can't
was
fucking
why.
stand him for the most part. I'm 50-50 on Matt Damon. Now, Matt Damon in his, robotic killer role in, what was it?
Born Identity?
Born Identity. Love him in that movie. Don't really care for him in anything else. And I think it's mainly because of my attachment to him with Ben Affleck. The two of them, I can't stand Ben Affleck.
Man.
I would fight him on the street if I ran into him. He's on my list of people that I never want to ever deal with ever for any reason. I don't want to meet him. I don't want anything to do with him. Just looking at him, you both saw Step Brothers, right?
Yeah.
So at the end, when the he's like, you just got one of those faces. I just want to put one of these right in the middle of. That is Ben Affleck for me.
That's Ben Affleck for you. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I love Ben Affleck more than I love Matt Damon, honestly. Ben Affleck just seems like a dude I could have a beer with.
He rubs me wrong. Everything about him, just the smug look on his face. I'm just like,
I'm really indifferent to him. I've seen movies that he's been in that I liked and a bunch that I didn't like. And honestly, a lot of the ones that I didn't like, it wasn't his fault. Because Daredevil was an absolute pile of shit, but that was the script. I wouldn't put it on him.
Yeah, I mean, that's... No one's ever going to argue that original Daredevil movie was anything but just hot.
That's
garbage.
Listen, John Wren, that's a small dick movie, okay? Fuck that. You like that movie, you got a small fucking dick.
But let's go back to Leonardo DiCaprio, though, because your hatred for Leonardo DiCaprio is not only keeping you from The Departed, which you really need to watch, but it's also keeping you from Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, I didn't see Wolf of Wall Street.
Great movie.
I refused to watch it, but I did see Shutter Island, which has him in it, and it is a Scorsese movie, and I think that's the moment where I was like, you know what, fuck this guy, because that movie is terrible.
I never watched it.
Please do me a favor, watch Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street, yeah. I second that one.
Funny, it's hilarious.
It's ridiculous.
So somebody burned it on DVD for me back in 2013 because that's what people did back then, instead of just sending me a fucking file. And I had it, and I thought about watching the movie probably 35 times if we're counting, and I could never pull the trigger for just just put it in. So maybe
I will put it on I will. You can sign up for my Plex if you want. I'll give you access to my Plex. I'll throw it into a Dropbox for you, man. You gotta see this film.
You probably have it on a file that you own outright by all means that are totally
legal.
above board. Totally
100%.
So if you were allowing me to borrow that file through any means necessary, we're just borrowing files.
You would put the file back.
Yeah, I'll give it right back to you. Not keep it for myself. We're just borrowing, not sharing, not stealing, just borrowing.
File sharing, is that a thing?
I heard there was something like Napster or something like that. I don't know.
That was a long time ago.
LimeWire? What is that?
LimeWire. Get some viruses.
Isn't that some boomer shit?
Oh, man. All right. I've gone long enough without watching this movie. It's 8 years old. I'll watch the fucking movie.
Watch the fucking movie.
Yeah.
I've relented on watching a number of things due to this podcast. So I didn't watch Westworld until I just started watching Westworld, and now I'm kicking myself for not watching Westworld before.
Don't watch Westworld past the first season now.
I haven't gotten past the first season.
That's all you need is the first season.
Okay.
I like the other seasons, but they're nowhere near the mastery of season 1.
Like season 2 was tantamount to sucking one's own dick. It's just we're so smart. We're so smart. We're so confusing, and confusing means smart.
It does kind of trip over itself a bit with some of the plot later on.
And I haven't even watched season 3. I refuse to, because season 2 pissed me off so much.
It gets pretty out there, but I won't give up on it yet. But it's not to the level anywhere near where season 1 was. Season 1 to me was probably the best thing that's been put on television in a good 20, 30 years.
No.
I love it.
No.
But it's also because it appeals to so much stuff that I'm into in general, like all the AI stuff. And I was a fan of the original. I really, really am 100% in for season 1.
Have you been watching Raised by Wolves?
Yeah, I enjoy it, but it's really fucking out there.
Yeah, I love it. It's so weird.
I like it, but it's so far out there that at times I have to watch it like 2 or 3 times just to fully understand it.
I get that, but like it it's out there, but it doesn't feel like it's trying to be smarter than me.
No,
I appreciate that.
I agree with that.
That's my problem. That was my problem with Westworld season 2. It thought it was smarter than me. Fuck that nerd.
So, Westworld, one of the things that drew me in was Clifton Collins being in the show.
Right.
I was introduced to Clifton Collins in a pretty unknown movie, unless you're a fucking degenerate like I am, The Stoned Age. Did either one of you watch this movie?
I've heard of The Stoned Age,
Bro,
but I bet
it is so ridiculously stupid. It's one of the worst movies ever made, and I absolutely fucking love it. But I generally was a movie degenerate from like 90 through like 96, maybe 97, before I was like just leaving my house all the time. So I would just sit in the house and just watch movies all day, all night, up till all kinds of hours, like late to school because I fucking overslept because I was up till 4 a.m. watching just whatever random bullshit. So in '94, the Stone Age came out, and he played a character called Tack, and there was always this line like "Tack, you cack," and I still use that fucking line all the time. So anytime Clifton Collins comes up in a show, I'm like Tack, and then I'm like so sucked into the whatever show, movie, whatever it is, because I will watch anything this kid does.
Well,
he's
like
50 now, so he's not a kid.
My first introduction to Clifton Collins Jr. was that movie with Samuel L. Jackson, 187.
187, okay.
Right? And, like, funny story, like, Clifton Collins Jr. is listed as Gonzalez Jr.
Mm-hmm.
In that. But, yeah, anything with Clifton Collins Jr. in there, I'll give it, all right, I'll let it roll. I'll watch it.
We'll give it a minute here. Let's check it out.
Because he's so versatile. And, like, I love Michael Pena, but, like, Michael Pena is just Clifton Collins Jr. 2.0.
I can agree with that as well.
See, I don't know. I don't really like Michael Pena that much.
No?
To me, he takes me out of it because I always just see him as kind of a goofball. So what was it that wasn't he in Narcos?
Yeah, season 3, baby.
It took me out of it, like, because I was so used to seeing him as a goofball that it was hard for me to see him as a serious character.
See, I only knew him from his, well, like, that's not true. I knew him from other shit, but like his dramas, like Crash. He was in, what's the fucking one, End of Watch?
Yeah, which is weird because I did like him in End of Watch.
You know, like Battle Los Angeles, which I will fight a motherfucker.
That was a good movie.
I will watch. That could be on TBS 24 hours a day. And that's what I'm watching 24 hours. There's something about that fucking movie.
That was a great movie.
Even talking about it right now, I was like,
you're getting a little choked.
Yeah, let me put that shit on.
So I'm looking at Michael Pena's list of movies right now, and I don't remember seeing this motherfucker until maybe Crash or $1 Million Baby. But he's got like 10 movies before that either I saw him in the movie and I didn't recognize it, because he was even in Gone in 60 Seconds. But I'm sure it was, he was playing a character called Ignacio, but I'm sure it was like tertiary part. He just happened to show up in the movie. It wasn't like he had a lot to talk about.
That's another trash movie that I love, Gone in 60 Seconds.
I don't mind that movie. That's so funny, Len, because what you just said about Pena is exactly the realization that I just came to when I looked up Clifton Collins Jr.
And that with all the stuff.
He's been in so much stuff that I know I've seen, and yet, like, it never registered that when I watch Westworld that, like, oh, he was in all this other stuff.
Yeah, for me, like, as I said, I saw him in that movie, The Stone Age from '94. He had only done a couple things before that, but literally anytime I would see him in something after it, I was just full stoked.
Yeah, like 187 that he mentioned, but he was in a bunch of other stuff that I know I've seen.
So, like, you haven't really seen Clifton Collins Jr. in anything since Michael Pena came on the scene. So my theory is it's like a Mexican Highlander. There can only be one Mexican, like superstar or semi-famous person in Hollywood at the time.
Well, I mean, so not to get into Black history, but a lot of the Black comedians will say that there can only be one or two of them that are doing really well at any specific time, and they start to tamp everybody else down.
That's why Michael Jai White didn't get his come up until Wesley Snipes was out the picture.
Yo, Wesley's back in the picture, yo. So how do you feel about this upcoming Coming to America Part 2?
Man, the bar is set real fucking high.
Yeah.
Like, anything less than a knockout, blow up the stadium, then drop a bomb on the city type thing. That Coming to America is possibly one of the greatest comedies ever.
So, all right, before you go too far, do you think if they released the original Coming to America with all the white face that they did, that they would get canceled now? Like, do you think like 100%. They can't redo that, but they're going to redo it anyway, so they're just going to run the line and see if they're going to get canceled? How do you feel about that? Do you think they're running up against cancel culture and they're going to just, basically wag it?
That's why I am looking forward to Eddie Murphy's return to stand-up comedy.
No, dude, I'm waiting, but I wonder how it's going to go.
Because they can't get away now with the shit they got away with then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
But you can do whiteface. That's still cool, kind of, because so I think they might be able to get away with some of that stuff. But I don't know. The world we're living in is a little too sensitive for my liking. I sound like an old man.
Well, you are an old man.
Yeah, but comedy sometimes is supposed to be offensive.
I 100% agree.
And I
absolutely agree with that.
And I don't think they're going to be able to be as down and dirty as they need to be.
No.
So my thing is, with comedy, as long as I believe you that you're telling a joke, I don't really care what the joke is. I can find the humor. Even if I don't find the humor in it, I can still accept that it's a joke.
Right.
So I always relate it to when Michael, whatever his name is from Seinfeld, the tall fucking
Michael Richardson.
Yeah, Michael Richards. Yeah.
Remember Michael Richards? Yeah.
When he got on stage and just started calling everybody a nigger, I'm like, all right, that's not a joke. You're not joking. That's actually how you feel.
It was like
that's
you're
not
having a
funny.
breakdown. You're having a breakdown.
Like, that's not funny. I'm out on that. But when I watch Louis C.K. do a joke, and he's been canceled for other shit, but whatever. That's not my situation or hill to die on. But when he drops it in his thing and he's telling a story and it's part of a joke, I don't get offended because he used a word that could be offensive to me because it's part of the story. It was it's part of the joke.
Right.
So it's an intent. It's you have to be able, as you mentioned earlier, read between the lines. There's gray area for everything, and if you can make it work and it's funny, then it's fucking funny.
Right. Speaking of Louis C.K., I rewatched all of Louis, his FX show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic show.
It's a better show. All right. But did you watch Louis on HBO when Pamela Adlon was his wife?
Yeah. Right.
I thought that was the better show.
No, I don't think that was the better show, but all of his shows are pretty much the same, essentially. But Louis on his FX show, it's so weird and so personal, and it's a little bit of brilliant. But watching that show now, you could totally see
that he's got a problem.
That he was telling us right there.
Oh yeah,
on the show.
The creep is showing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd have to go back and watch it because I only watched bits and pieces of it because I was so into the original Louis show on HBO that when I started watching the one that was on regular TV or whatever, pay cable, I was like, this isn't as gritty as the one that was on HBO. I can't watch this.
Have you seen Horace and Pete?
No, I have not.
And that's more like what you are talking about with the first one, Lucky Louie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one's I don't think I laughed.
Yeah, Lucky Louie, that's what it was called. So okay, all right, I'll have to check. I'll go back and watch Louie. I'll do it because if I want to see what you saw, I want to take a look at that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just like little hints and pieces. Now knowing everything is like, wow, yeah, he put it all out there. Like, all of his sexual dysfunctions is right fucking there.
Just jerking off in the corner while you sit on the other side of the room. Wow. You're like not even naked. Whatever.
It's like that Key and Peele. It's like that Key and Peele sketch where the rapper gets interrogated, and they're using his own rap lyrics as evidence. It's like, I killed him in the yard yesterday. You know, like just rapping is like that's what Louis did. It's like, oh yeah, you jerked off in front of this woman. You made her watch you. You know,
right?
Spank it.
So. Now that you brought up Key and Peele, and I just want to know, did you hate Us as much as a lot of people else other people did?
Probably more.
More?
God bless Jordan Peele for being the one black horror filmmaker that's not me to be successful. God bless him. But Get Out was nothing but the Stepford Wives with black folk. It was a competent film. But it was not like next level. It was not transcendent. It just happened to be a black director and black faces. And that, I think Hollywood has a tendency to pander. Can you hear me?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Yeah, no, because my headphones are acting up. If anyone of any race or creed does anything that's remotely competent, they're surprised. And they give all sorts of adulations. So that's what we had going into Us. My problem with Us is fucking totally 100% logistical.
So the fact that I need to suspend disbelief that all this stuff is underneath.
Yeah, you have to. All right, so hold on 1 second. There we go. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so you have a doppelganger for everybody on the face of the earth living underground, right? But these are all dummies. So they have to. They make these fucking robes and these scissors. They have to put together an infrastructure. These retards, I'll take that word back.
That's going noted. Hold on. 303 retard. All right, go on.
These doppelgangers all of a sudden are developing an industrialized society where they're making shoes, and they got seamstresses and metallurgists to make these scissors, and they're just going to appear above ground. Who's giving them the rabbits feed on? Who's designing them? Like, it's like this whole entire big doppelganger conspiracy that doesn't fucking make sense. And that's just that part of it. There are other parts of it that was just like, he puts references to the Lost Boys in there, and just because he puts a reference to the Lost Boys or any of these other 80s horror films, right? We're supposed to he's so next level. Oh, he saw through every aspect of it. And it's another example of a filmmaker trying to suck their own dick. It's the Christopher Nolan syndrome.
So I went to go see Us in the theater, not necessarily the night it came out, but pretty close to when it came out, because I enjoyed Get Out. It was fun. It was a fun movie to watch. It's a really fun movie to kind of like side quote, like saying that somebody's in the sunken place.
Right.
There were aspects of that movie that I absolutely enjoyed, but I do agree with your Stepford Wives comparison. I went to go see Us, and I was just confused the whole time. I didn't necessarily hate it, but I also didn't necessarily get it. Like, it just didn't, like, a lot of the things that you're bringing up just didn't make sense to me. Like, are you suggesting that there's a netherworld underneath all of our current existence where all these people live?
Right. And also, like, what's the point?
I don't know.
They were supposed to be, like, controlling the people. Like, wasn't it like they're controlling the people up above or the people below? Like, why? It seems like a lot of effort, and I don't know why.
Right.
That were doppelgangers.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure either, but it was definitely confusing. So I'm glad that I wasn't the only person out there that was just like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, the best part of that movie was the scene with the white family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see that movie, Gary?
I never saw it because, just like the stuff that Jeff is talking about, I heard from plenty of people about details of it, and I was just like, oh, fuck that. It sounds stupid.
Okay.
And well, I just wasn't interested.
You saved yourself. You saved yourself, trust me. Because it would have been 2 hours you wouldn't have gotten back.
No, because it sounds like the kind of thing that would just really annoy the shit out of me about a movie.
Right.
So once I heard a few of those things that he mentioned, I just immediately was off my list. I'm like, not interested.
And I saw it twice in theaters just to make sure I wasn't being an asshole.
You weren't. Trust me, you weren't being an asshole. It was pretty bad.
And let's talk about how movie theaters don't even respect the calibration process.
Okay, because what do you mean?
The first time I saw it, I was like, yo, this thing is real fucking dark.
Oh, the brightness calibration.
Right. Like, they did not calibrate the screen, and so all the dark-skinned people
basically blended in with the fucking
with the back. Yeah. And I was like, I think there should have been like, does there have to be a warning that goes out to the movie theaters when they come back or whatever that says, hey, if you got a lot of Negroes in the movie,
you gotta lighten that shit up.
It's just like, adjust properly, so it's just not voices in the darkness and teeth.
Oh God. You know what? That goes for anything. People taking pictures. I disappear in many a picture, and it's just like there's this shadowy figure because they're like stand over here, and I'm like, this is the worst place for me to stand. The light is behind me. You are going to see nothing. You need the light in front of me so that you can see me. Like, what the fuck are you doing right now?
Like, I'm a person. I am a human being.
It's fucking ridiculous. So, to wrap this up, movie theaters have gone away for the most part. There are a few that are still open here and there. Movies have moved online. Like, one of the movie companies is releasing everything on HBO Max, and other companies are moving in different directions. Disney Plus is going wild. What are you looking forward to most when it comes to movies? And do you think that we're going to see a resurgence in theaters? Like, just not necessarily in theaters, but in the idea of going to a movie theater?
All right. That's a lot of questions.
Well, I like to ask a lot of questions.
So, on the theater thing, I think the theater experience is going to change fundamentally, like at its core, over the next couple of months, years, whatever like that. It's going to be experience-based more so than like that multiplex kind of, situation. So when I say experience-based, you're going to see a lot of a surge in niche movie theaters that offer you a premium experience, like your Alamo Draft Houses, things like that. Alamo Draft House, still one of the best theaters I've ever gone to, one of the best theater experiences. That's where I first saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Big plush leather seats, high-end drinks, high-end food, table service. But the thing is, they respect the movie so much that the ushers will kick you out if you use your phone. That means
I appreciate that.
If you look at it while the movie's going, you get one. You get one.
And they warn you about that before the movie even starts.
Right.
They have
before the movie starts. It's like,
yeah, they have all these little video things that they play, and a lot of them are funny, but they make it clear to you that they're not fucking around.
Right. So like, it's a smaller venue, so that way they can keep with COVID compliance. You know, but I think people are going to pay for the experience of going to a movie theater and actually being able to enjoy going out. But I think the multiplexes are dead. If anything, what's going to happen with the multiplexes are that Disney or one of these whole entire huge studios is going to buy up all this property cheap and go directly to market. So let's say Disney buys up Hamilton AMC, right? They rebranded the Hamilton, they rebranded the Disney Experience Hamilton, right? So that way they can put all the Disney movies right there. Don't have to worry about theaters like theater chain or company, because they're going directly from the studio right to their own movie theater. They can put their Disney store in there. So that means the next time you see, as soon as you walk into that out of Star Wars in the theater, you can go right to the Disney store that's right inside the movie theater and buy
your Ray blow up doll.
I mean, man, whatever floats your boat, whatever gets your dick hard, dude. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think theater chains are done, like AMC and Lowe's and stuff like that. It's done, because in order for the vaccine that we have to be effective, 75% of the population has to actually take it. We can get 75% of the United States to agree that Trump was a bad president.
Dude, you could barely get 60% of the people to say that.
We each by with 52% or whatever.
Yeah, you're dangerously close to 50-50, really.
Right. So, as much as I want all of this to clear up and us to be, get back to normal, which normal is a weird construct anyway, because if you're living through it for an extended period of time, it's fucking normal. So this is, quarantine's normal now.
So I want to say thank you, Jeff, for coming on the show. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Thank you for having me on. Things to plug. Follow me on Instagram. My name is MindfireXL. I'm sure that'll be in the show notes.
Yes.
Follow me on YouTube. A Different Path Films. I don't know. I'm around. Send me an email. Stop on by. Send me some cookies.
Ooh, cookies.
Cookies.
They're fucking delicious, bro.
Got to have enough for everybody.
No, just for me. Just
I don't know.
Drop beer.
Fighting these two fat dudes over here.
I'm trying to get Marlon Brando fat.
Oh, whoa.
I'm trying to because I've been
Dr. Moreau fat? Oh.
I've been working on my COVID body for the last couple of months. I just can't, I can't get over that hump. I'm just obese now. I'm not morbidly obese. And I'm trying to get to morbidly obese.
Anyway, theupgradepodcast.net for all the links, social media, etc. I am Gary Muttley. He is Len Carmichael. We are The Upgrade. Thank you again, Jeff. And we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.